Knowing where to start, which smoker to grill or buy, what fuels to use and what cut of meat is going to be the best to learn with can all seem incredibly daunting. Talking to the pros from New Zealand, Australia or the US of A, and they all started out experimenting, learning from others, and most certainly built their skills over a longer period of time and made great friends along the way. Reading books, searching the web, joining a Facebook group or taking a class are all great first steps for any budding pitmaster. Whatever the grill or barbecue one chooses to begin with, there'll be information at the ready, someone around to lend a hand, and a whole barbecue community ready to welcome the newbie into the fold. Similar to any new sport or hobby, learning to crawl before you walk and setting a solid foundation before reaching for the stars is what the street smart will tell you. Fire management, more forgiving cuts of meat, and using flavours that one already knows and loves will almost certainly ensure a positive start.
It's such an intimidating process to get into, and especially we see pictures of brisket and think, I'm going in and starting with that, and you could not pick a harder meat to start with. The trick to barbecue, I think, is learn to crawl before you walk. So it doesn't really matter what unit you learn to cook on. The most important thing is to learn how fire reacts during cooking. If you learn to control your fire, everything after that will be easy.
I think patience. Patience is the number one, virtue in barbecue for me, and not to overcomplicate things. Start things simple, start with simple flavours, start with simple cooks, and build up from there. I think too many people read too much and start doing way too much too early and overcomplicate the process.
Well, one of the things that's maybe a little controversial is I like the idea of going along with other teams. So if you can find a spot with one of your mates or through some friends, a great idea is to do what we call rockstar shifts. So just see if you can find your way in, and whether it's the parsley guy or whether it's the dish pig, and then watch and learn and shig away.
Get the best meat and other ingredients that you can afford. It's garbage in, garbage out when it comes to barbecue. If you start with something that's not so good, it's not going to come out the other end any good either. And the other thing I would always say to people that are starting out is give yourself more time than you think. Because there's nothing worse than, say, you're cooking for friends and family and you think something's going to take 6 hours, but by the time it gets to 6 hours, you've got people sitting there waiting and they're really hungry, and you know the meat's still got a couple of hours. So give yourself plenty of time, and yeah, make sure you've got the best possible produce you can afford.
Advice to someone starting out would be to keep it simple. From what I've seen, and probably personal experience as well, people get caught up in rubs and sauces and all these other things, but the truth is you need to master cooking a bit of meat perfectly. So don't worry about sauces and rubs and all that sort of stuff too much. Just concentrate on cooking a really good bit of meat. If you start off with a good bit of meat, then it's going to end up with a lot better product. If you start off with a really crappy bit of meat, you put 8, 10, 12 hours into it, the end product is not going to be good, and you're going to end up blaming yourself and thinking that you haven't done it properly, when really it's just you started with a bad bit of meat.
I tell a lot of people that if they're just getting into barbecue, to research. There's a lot of information out there online. There's a lot of great classes. There's top barbecue teams that are putting on barbecue classes. Get some information, cut the learning curve in half. So a bunch of people have been doing it, have some great information, so it's easy these days to research, how to trim some pork ribs or where to start in barbecue. I recommend everybody just continue to learn, take classes, research, and then do your homework, and you'll definitely get better. And the more you do, the better you're going to get as well.
Learn to control your fire no matter what cooker you got. Just learn fire control and then you'll be right. Smooth, even temperatures produce good barbecue no matter what you're cooking on.
With your barbecue pit, you need to make sure that it's seasoned right, and that seasoning takes time, and it takes the remnants of the animal fats that have leached out and coated the creosote from the timber, how hot the fire's been, how hot the smoke's been, how much smoke's gone through it. All these things season the pit, and that imparts the right flavours onto the barbecue.
You don't need to start with anything big. We started off with a Weber Smoky Mountain bullet smoker. We also had a couple of Pro Qs, same sort of style. We've now got the big fella behind us. So yeah, you don't need anything huge. Just get some good meat, get some good barbecue, get some good rubs, and you're good to go.
If you get into barbecue for the first time, buy yourself a chimney, get your coals nice and hot, and don't overpack the smoker is what I'd recommend.
Firstly, when getting into barbecue, there's a wealth of information out there, especially on Facebook. The social media platform is great. Make sure you search out all the various pages, especially this Australasian Barbecue Alliance, as well as any specific smoker brands that you're interested in. There's a lot of guys out there that have tested and learned from the products and have a lot of experience and knowledge to share.
Forming a relationship with a local butcher can greatly enhance the barbecue experience and certainly make for a much better cook-up, whilst always making sure to have a two-way conversation and taking the time to work on the relationship for mutual benefit.
One of the first tips I give my customers when they're learning low and slow or barbecue is to start off with something simple, something that they like to eat. Chicken wings are really good, they're always nice. You could move on to some ribs, some American style pork ribs, or even the beef rib. Beef ribs come up really good, which is what I suggest to most people. So they get to know their barbecue and get to know their fire. Getting to know your fire is a very important thing. And then even with the simple sausage, you can get so many different sausages now that you could put into your grill and into your fire, and they don't take a long time to cook. So you have the time to get to know your fire and get to know your cooker, because they're all different, but at the end of the day, you've still got a product that you can eat and enjoy.
There are many one-stop shops these days that can provide a total startup package for the beginner. Most good retailers or wholesalers are investing more than ever in refining and developing product ranges to suit the growing demand for wood fire cooking.
So for us at Barbecues Galore, you can find a huge range. I mean, we really want to be the one-stop shop to have everything you are going to need at your fingertips. And you've also got a wonderful, passionate group of men and women out there that can really guide you through the whole process. It shouldn't be intimidating. It is a journey of discovery, and there's so much support out there, whether it be in store, online. So I'd encourage you, if you're thinking about it, really go down to your store, have a chat to the guys, and we'll help you along the way. And the rewards are just so great. I mean, cooking your favourite food, whether it be a brisket if you're brave, or beef short ribs, or even pork shoulder, there's just the food and the taste that you get from low and slow, there's nothing like it.
The Australasian Barbecue Alliance sanctions barbecue competitions in Australia and New Zealand which are open to anybody. Men, women and juniors from all backgrounds and walks of life are encouraged to join in the fun and compete at any skill level. ABA competitions are known for supporting newcomers, lending a hand to a team in need, and experienced teams compete alongside first-timers almost every competition. And on any given day, anyone can win, and most certainly everyone has fun. To rewatch this series, search Facebook for Beyond the Flame TV, and be sure to share it with friends, comment with your feedback, or give it a like. For more information on how to get started in barbecue, visit www.ausbbq.com.au.